Hello, I'm Dr. Mehdi Peikar, and in this podcast, Dean and I will talk about Celebrace. You learn about how AI will be in your clinic, in your device, in your digital braces.
Orthomarketing.com, 360-degree digital marketing solutions for your practice.
Well, hello, everybody out there in podcast land. This is Dean Steinman from Ortho Marketing. And guess what? We are back with another podcast for you. Yes. So I am very excited for today's guest. But first, let's take one step back and hope everybody is having a great day. Hopefully, you all smile today. And making a difference in people's lives. Obviously, everybody who's listening to this is in the dental world, and your job is to make people smile. So hopefully you made somebody smile today. And if you did, it's a good day. So with that said, I'm smiling because we have a new guest here that I'd love to introduce everybody to and to learn the story. And it's very great story. As you know, we have many guests on before who are orthodontists, dentists that start technology companies. And we have another one here that it's a great story. And I always like to hear their journey. So with that said, I'm very psyched to have Dr. Mehdi Peikar here. And he is the founder of Celebrace. Mehdi, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm great. And before we start, I wanted to thank you, Dean, for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so glad you could join. We were introduced from a mutual friend, and it'd be my pleasure to have you join and tell a little bit about your story. So before we jump into it, Mehdi, tell us a little bit about you. You have an interesting story and your background. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Dr. Mehdi Peikar?
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Iran, and I moved to the US in 2011. Actually, before coming to the US, I was a dentist and also I did my residency there in Iran. And I was a faculty there for a year. And then I came to the US and I loved physics, and always my dream was to do a PhD in physics in the US. And then
Okay.
I was lucky enough to do that in 2011. I came to Illinois, University of Illinois. I started my PhD there in quantum
Okay.
mechanics and condensed matter. And then I moved to Johns Hopkins to complete my PhD in biomechanics. So I finished my um, PhD there at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. And then during that time, I had the idea for basically digital orthodontics to
Okay.
be able to use technology for patients. And I kind of stumbled into entrepreneurship world. I wanted to basically bring these ideas that I had for digital orthodontics to the world. And I noticed that if I do a second round of residency, it will be easier that I can try it on patients myself to be able to improve it. So I went to UCLA in
Okay.
2016, and I did a second round of residency there. And during this time, I was working on my previous company called Brius Independent Movers, Bravo by Brius,
Okay.
which is a lingual system, and it's very biomechanics heavy. And then after this, Brius is going, the company is growing, but during all this time, I was also thinking about Celebrace. And I tell you a little bit about Celebrace. Celebrace is a labial system, 100% custom braces that are made of metal. And we use an IDB to place those on the teeth. And the customization is basically has different aspects. One is the base of the bracket, because we 3D print in metal, they perfectly fit the tooth. And that's one aspect of the customization. The other aspect is the slot of the brackets. Those are also 100% custom.
Okay.
As you know, like with traditional braces, like we always use MBT, or we use like prescription like Roth.
Right.
But um, when I, when I used to think about it, I was like, how is that even possible? When you do your aligner, you never say you use MBT prescription for torques and tips, or you don't use Roth prescription. You just use the treatment plan for this patient. This custom, you make it the aligner custom for the patient. So I thought, why we don't do this for braces? And
Okay.
basically, when the doctor approves the treatment plan with in our software, we reverse engineer and we design the brackets with AI based on that virtual treatment plan that the doctor approved. And the prescription is not going to be MBT or ROT. It's going to be exactly just for this patient, custom for this patient.
Oh, I'm in this industry for a while now, and I've always been amazed at how something like braces or aligners cannot be 100% custom for each person, because everybody has their own unique plan that they need, and they have your unique message and a unique smile that has to be moved a certain way. So let's take a step back. How was this industry even moving forward if something is not custom? Were you putting a square peg in a round hole and hoping it fits? Educate us on how it was, and how did you get results of something that was not custom, or was it just not the results that you wanted?
Yeah, it's a great question. And maybe in orthodontics for more than 100 years, we are so used to it that we don't appreciate the fact that we are just using the same bracket. One size fits all. It's like you go to the shoe store and they only have like size 9.5. And it kind of works, but it's not comfortable,
Right.
right? The same for braces. And if we step back, we think about like the history of orthodontics. First we had like a standard edgewise. So the doctors had to like put all the torques in the wire, and after that, which is very, I mean, I have tried it during my residency, and this is so tedious. After that was straight wires like MBT and Roth, which is a huge step. It's average. Basically, you do still it's one size fits all, but you're looking at the average. Those prescriptions are work for average. And it's like it doesn't take you exactly to your destination. This is the analogy sometimes I use. It's like you take a taxi, it takes you like 5 blocks from your home or your destination. Okay. At the end of it, you have to somehow get to your destination. And with traditional braces, with MBT, basically we still have to do a little bit of wire bending.
Okay.
And sometimes that takes much longer than like the trip that we get to like 5 blocks from the destination. So what we are focusing on is we give the right torque, right tip based on the treatment plan the doctor approved, and we try to get the doctor exactly to their destination
Okay.
to save the time. And also during this procedure we have a digital system, and I don't think anybody I don't think anybody can disagree that in the future everything is going to be digital. There is no way
Right.
that orthodontists still like eyeball the brackets on the teeth. They don't use a bonding tray, and they don't plan everything ahead of the time. With traditional braces still works, but maybe it's not the most efficient way. When each visit you look at the patient and you decide what needs to be done. Or for example, there is a button discrepancy. You notice that after like 1 year or 1.5 years and start like doing IPR. But when you have a digital system from the beginning, you think it through. You're gonna do the IPR, you're gonna do this general mechanotherapy to get to your destination. Your final alignment, how it looks.
Right.
So I believe that's the future, digital
Okay.
orthodontics.
I agree. It's not in my eyes, it's the present. It's not even the future. It's now. And if you're still analog, forget it. You've got to be digital at least, and then go from there. So now let's take the next step. You had analog, you got digital, and now let's talk about those two wonderful letters, AI.
Mm.
All right. it's everywhere, obviously now, and it touching every single thing here. So what I wanted to find out is, tell me, how is AI improving orthodontic treatment planning that wasn't a bit done before? Because AI has been around for a while, it just hasn't been so integrated. So how is AI changing and improving orthodontics?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question, and maybe the most general question. How it's going to change our lives. It's not going to be just orthodontics. It's going to be everything. And as you said, AI has been around for a long time. The general idea, the basic concept has been around for like 50, 60 years. But I would say like in 2011, like AI scientists, they learned that it's really working. And it's kind of funny that they use GPUs, and GPUs are basically for gamers. And Nvidia, all of us have heard about Nvidia. Nvidia kind of survived because of the gamers, and they were purchasing GPUs,
Right.
and that really pushed AI to the next level. And LLMs, large language models,
Uh-huh.
I would say like a lot of people are using that, but that's just the beginning. And in the software, agents are coming already. Last year and this year they're coming. Agents are a big part of everything. But now, if you want to focus on orthodontics and why AI in orthodontics, we can talk about our lives and robots and everything, but if you focus on AI in orthodontics, for the virtual treatment plan, the moment that you um, scan, AI starts. AI needs to know this tooth is a molar, this one is a canine, this is the incisor, and what is the direction, which side is buccal, which side is lingual. So AI needs to know all these things, and that's what we have in our software. The AI detects everything and sections all these things. And as I said, like buccal, lingual, everything should be understood by the AI.
Mhm.
And then after that, teeth should be aligned. So aligning the teeth involves AI. And obviously, sometimes I make this joke: if you have like a patient and we have like 10 doctors in a room, they come up with 11 treatment plans. And each of us believe that this is the right treatment plan. But like, we can, with AI, we can get to the general idea, and then still, maybe a human should be involved, or in the future AI is going to be involved to get the treatment plan to where the doctor wants it. And then we need to put the brackets on.
Right.
With traditional braces, you only have a standard way of putting the brackets in the middle, or like based on your prescription. But with Celebrace in our software, because we 3D print the bracket, you don't have to put the bracket in the middle of the tooth. You have a lot of flexibility. You can put it wherever you want. So that really helps, because sometimes the patient bites on the bracket, and if the patient, he or she, breaks the bracket. But if you can move the bracket around, you can avoid those collisions. So that removes a lot of headache in Celebrace. With Celebrace, we can remove a lot of headache for the doctor in the clinic and remove these breakages. Um, so, AI is basically involved in all of these things.
Everything. Everything.
And then the other part I didn't even talk about is diagnosis. Like when the AI, because in our software, optionally you can submit the CBCT, and our software detects the roots, the bone, um, and basically comes up with a diagnosis too. But again, um, orthodontist decides what the treatment plan should be. But with the AI, we detect all these things. We come up with diagnosis too. So AI is part of all the steps. Every single step, AI is involved. And then we have manufacturing. We're going to 3D print the brackets, and we're going to 3D print the IDBs. Designing those brackets, designing those IDBs, AI is involved there and is going to be part of it.
This podcast is sponsored by orthomarketing.com. In a crowded market, how does your practice stand out? If you're a dentist or orthodontist looking for a competitive edge, Ortho Marketing is your solution. We aren't just another agency, we are the industry's choice for specialized digital marketing. We understand the unique challenges of your field and specialize in one thing: growth. Our experts will optimize your website and leverage social media to build real connections with your community. We don't just get clicks, we get patience. Say goodbye to empty chairs and watch your patient list grow with a strategy built specifically for your success. Visit orthomarketing.com to get started. Ortho Marketing. It's not just our name, it's what we do.
I think it's involved with everything. It's a big, big part of my job, what I do from a marketing perspective. And, if you have to adapt, you have to do that. But if people are afraid of that, so let's talk about that. So what would you think are what most orthodontists or practice owners, what's the biggest misunderstanding or misconception about AI in the industry? Because not everybody's afraid is able to jump right in. So what would you say are the two biggest, misconceptions or misunderstandings revolving AI?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would say for one of them is like the dystopian world. Some people like think about like AI, they're gonna like attack us, and there are real concerns about AI that it might things might go bad. That's absolutely right. But the other misconception is when a new technology comes, if we don't embrace it, sometimes we're going to be behind. And you know, a lot of people talk about this, that those people who AI will not substitute us. Those people who use AI will substitute us. So we have to embrace AI. When you have AI, everything is going to be way more efficient. And like it's by day. Like just I'm talking about like the software, the improvement that has happened in the last like 2 months, just 2 months, is crazy.
Is it right? Isn't it how fast it right? It took us, 20 years to get where we have in 2 months.
It is absolutely right. Like the improvement that we have in the last, it's exponential.
Right.
It's and sometimes when something is exponential, it's really hard to predict what happens in the future.
Mhm.
But the fact that I really believe in is that we have to embrace it. We cannot just say, you know, I don't trust it, I don't want to use it. If we don't use it, we're going to be behind. We have to definitely take care of it. And we have had similar situations 100 years ago when cars came. If you wanted to insist that I'm going to ride my horse, you're going to be behind. But back then it was much slower. When internet came, and like obviously like a lot of doctors or like in different businesses, they were like, look, I'm not going to use a computer. I have like hard copy. I'm going to use that.
Right.
If you had those people who didn't embrace computer, they were behind. And then internet came, and then mobile phones, cell phones came. So if we don't uh, try to catch up with technology, we're going to be behind. And because the pace is much faster, because like internet came and it took like several years, or like smartphones came, it took like a while. But right now AI is, the pace is very fast.
It's
It's
crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, one of the biggest issues I have when it comes to marketing is figuring out how to differentiate a practice and how to make them stand out from the competition. So what would you say would be one value that Celebrace brings to a practice that could help them stand out from a crowded market and position them differently? What's one thing that a practice could works with you, can really sink their teeth into and say, my practice is better and you're going to get better results and we're different because of Celebrace. So what's one thing that go hand in hand?
Yeah, sure. uh, actually, I have been an orthodontist since 2010, but like in the US, I graduated from UCLA again like in 2019. I have been a orthodontist for a while, but last year I started my clinic. And in the area that I am, in Dallas, which is very saturated,
Mhm.
there were some other orthodontists. They have been here for like 20 years. Like everybody know them.
Right.
Everybody knows them. And some patients came to my clinic, and I was using my Celebrace software to in the consult room.
Right.
Basically, what we do in our clinic for consult, when the patient comes, we take the CBCT, we take the scans, we take the photos, and then we put everything in the software. And after a few minutes, everything is ready in the software. So when I go to the consult room, I'm not presenting like with photos. I'm not presenting on the scanner. I'm presenting on the Celebrate software. And when we explain everything is custom, everything is modern, we have like high-end technology here. It's very clear to me. A lot of patients say, wow, I went to like this doctor that has been here for a while, and I was treated there, and my daughter that I'm like trying to find an orthodontist, I came here just for a second opinion, and it's obvious for me I should come here.
Totally. Yeah.
So I think this is very important. And like, if you want to talk about like aligners, like in 2010, if you did aligners, you were ahead of others because
Right.
you could show that you have a technology, and you only have this, others don't have it. And this is the same for braces. If you have a digital system like Celebrace,
Right.
you can brag that, but you'll have it just for a few years. You can be ahead of others. And I was talking to this orthodontist that started his hair practice in San Francisco, and she was like, I graduated in like 2009. I don't remember exact year, but around those years. And I was the only one who was offering Invisalign back then. And then my practice grew. I didn't expect it because I had this new technology. And this is the same. If the patient comes to your clinic, um, and they see that it looks like 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
Forget it.
uh,
Old school. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So not your
yeah,
fault. Any younger practice, or even not younger, but in order to position yourself differently, you have to show that you're up on technology and give different results. You have to do the same thing over and over again. Um,
absolutely, absolutely.
so I'm gonna ask you, put your special glasses on, and we're gonna look into the future 2 years. All
Mhm.
right. Where do you see the orthodontic industry in 2 years from now?
Yeah, so obviously there's going to be a lot of AI, and this AI is not going to be just Celebrace or like our device. In management software, like if somebody calls you, an AI will respond. If somebody like messages you on your website, an AI responds.
Mhm.
um, um, and there's going to be definitely way more digital orthodontics, and whenever it's digital, there's going to be a lot of AI. I'm not sure about like when robots come, but they're coming too. uh, at some point, robots are going to be, because it's in the physical world, in the
I
atom
agree.
world, that's way more expensive, and it's harder to have that. And we have a lot of AI in our other softwares, but like for example, we don't have AI in our physical products. Like our brackets, they're like MBT, they're not like that smart. And we'll see. That's the way I see things. Like this is my vision, that we're gonna have the products, physical products like Celebrace brackets or like the IDBs, that AI is in the physical product. It's not just a software anymore.
Hmm.
So soon, in the next few years, we're gonna see the results of AI in our uh, physical world too. It's not just software
I
or in
agree.
our cell
I
phone.
agree. It's got tentacles into everything. Um, so I love that you're an entrepreneur, and that you come up with all this new platform. So, what bit of advice would you give a dentist, orthodontist who wants to take the next step, either have multiple locations to expand his entrepreneurship, or dive into a technology like this? What's one big advice you would tell somebody to do if they wanted to step out of their comfort zone?
Yeah, sure. This is very important, and like some people say, the most important sign of intelligence is when you adapt. And maybe if you were an orthodontist 30 years ago, you didn't have to adapt that quickly, but
Right.
right now is different. You as an orthodontist really need to adapt very quickly, and things change by, sometimes it doesn't change like even by year, it's like by month, like every month a
Exactly.
new thing comes. uh, we should try not to be overwhelmed. and I understand it. It's overwhelming sometimes. Like there's a lot of things, information, but we should start from something. Like we have to start like to modernize our clinic, embrace technology, embrace AI, to be able to, and you don't have to like suddenly do everything at like little by little. Do a small C course, learn this new technology, look at this management software, and like obviously like with devices like Celebrace, obviously this is something that I am like obsessed with, but I cannot see anything else other than like a digital orthodontic system in my clinic.
Can you imagine, right? Imagine going back, taking a
I
step back. You can't. Yeah.
exactly,
Once you've seen the future and you see it now, how could you even think of going back?
exactly.
Mehdi, thank you so much for all this info. This is great. So now, if somebody wants to learn more and say, "Yeah, I want to do a demo or learn more about Celebrace," what's the best way for them to go about doing so?
Yeah, sure. So maybe the website is a very good way to start. You can go to celebrace.com.
Okay.
Or you can email us support@celebrace.com, and we're gonna get in touch with you. You just put your phone number or email there, and then our sales team, we have a great sales team, they can reach out to you, and we can go from there.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in this endeavor here. And guys, this is a game changer. If you're not adapting your practice, as you mentioned, when you've heard me many times, adapt or die. And if you're not adapting and taking the next step and getting out of your comfort zone, you won't get to where you want to be. This is not 2017, 2012, this is 2025. A lot of competition, lots of technologies, lots of exporting things coming in. Focus on what you do best, adapt, and you will see the light. So, Dr. Peikar, thank you so much. Appreciate everybody in podcast land. Once again, thank you so much for being a loyal listener, for all of the information, for all of the comments, and for being a supporting of here at Ortho Marketing. So everybody out there, keep smiling. Thanks so much. And everybody, be happy.
orthomarketing.com. 360-degree digital marketing solutions for your practice.